How did I start playing drums? Well, I started in fifth grade, as every musician starts, and then the year after I started playing just snare drum, they decided, oh, let's do a jazz band at my grade school. And because I was one of the only percussionists, they said, congratulations, Marcus, you're playing drum set for us now, and it's been great ever since. I started playing guitar when I was roughly fifth grade. I still have that guitar to this day, however, over 10 years later. And I played it on and off for a while and have really doubled down and been playing a lot over the past 4 years, more than I had before. So
Started playing music when I was about 13, 14, maybe sooner. No, about 13, 14. And, then I learned enough guitar to learn how to play it and started putting lyrics to things and wrote a bunch of really awful songs the first few years of my life, but then started thinking, some of this stuff isn't actually awful. So then I just kind of started rolling with it and, formulated an EP and formulated an album and scrapped it and scrapped that. And then kind of went through band names and name changes here and there. But now, here I am, in the cusp of my manhood, and I am, starting to actually do things as Community Trees, playing songs that I've written as early as, 16, but, and some songs that I've written, when I was, how old I am now, 19, 20,
So, I am really good friends with Garth Service's roommate, Damon Groon, and have played with other people around Dort for various reasons. I believe it was Lily Smith who recommended me to Garth when he was asking around for a guitarist. He hit me up. I knew him marginally at that point, and I said, sure, let's play guitar. And we made a band. How do I know these guys? Well, I met Ben freshman year. Ben and I actually did an NCDC act together my freshman year and his sophomore year. Garth and I met just this year when one of my friends referred me to him and said he was looking for a drummer, and immediately looking for a position like that, I reached out to him and I said, hey, I really would like to join you on this project. And then he asked me, well, do you know anyone else who could join us? And I said, I know Ben, and Ben is a really great guitarist, and I think that he'd be a great addition to the team. And it's been that ever since. My favorite part about Community Trees is we've got a really interesting dynamic. We have Garth, who is the sort of really eccentric frontman who's got a lot of well-realized ideas that he wants to bring to light of day. And he has all these songs and all these ways that everything has to be done, and it's very specific, which really helps me as a guitarist to figure out what I need to play. We have Marcus, who is a god on the drums, and me, who is just the yes man, and I like everything that goes on. Everything's awesome. So, how am I part of the creative process? Well, being the only drummer in the band, the only one who knows how to play drums, I think that Garth looks to me a lot in order to create the sound that he's looking for. Obviously, they're Garth's songs, and he's written them, and he has an idea in his mind of what he wants them to sound like. But I think from my experience as a drummer, I can tell him this is what's going to sound good when we put the song all together from a perspective from a drummer.
Honestly, it's probably not the greatest band name I've ever thought of, but also I just really like it. It gives it a very folksy and homey feel, and the idea of the Community Trees is probably more conceptual, and it's probably better to explain without words. But if I think about it gives us, so the idea of a community comes from the idea of my Christian brothers and sisters, and it's just like a bigger kind of thing. And the idea of trees is obviously, it's, well, maybe not so obvious, but it's crucifixion imagery. So the idea of like Community Trees is this idea that everybody, belongs, or deserves to hang up on a tree, except for the one that did. And so it kind of brings to mind this imagery of like this whole world just littered in trees of sinners, but also littered in trees of redeemed. So.
This is me.